Hello and blessed be from the sacred circle of the goddess. I am Jen, the high priestess, and I am so glad that you're with us. Today we're going to be talking about the Morrigan. Now, it would not be justice if we were talking about a Celtic deity of any kind, especially the Morrigan. We didn't talk about this symbol right here, the trifecta. Now, notice that it has three. The number three is very important to the Celtic belief. This represents a multitude of things, but most commonly it represents life, death, and rebirth. Life, death, and rebirth. Now, where you believe you go after that rebirth, that's a whole nother video and a cup of coffee. But for right now, for this video, it's going to represent life, death, and rebirth, maiden, mother, crone, and body, mind, and spirit. Wait, I saw you just said we were talking about the Morrigan. We are, calm down. All right. In the beginning of anyone's practice, you will be told by 120, if not all practitioners that have been in this for a while, that you need to get grounded, focused, and centered and practice protection. Because you can't really focus and complete your spells if you don't know how to do that. That's what it is. You're focusing on your ingredients to put your intention in there. You're centering your mind with where your physical body is, and you're aligning that, bringing it together with your spirit. And how do you believe? Where am I? What do I think about where I am? And how do I believe about what I think about where I am? When you can get all three of those things together and aligned and focused and centered into the middle, you're going to end up in the green right there. You're going to line up your mind, your body, and your spirit. You're going to center everything together. That's what you need to be able to do before you dive into this with the Morrigan. See, we are all phases of maiden, mother, crone. We are curious. We are excited. We are spontaneous. We are the maiden. We are full of love and boundaries and protection. And we know what it means to be okay and happy within our own skin. We are the mother. We are wise. And we don't let those boundaries be erased by anyone. We are the crone. We are all in one and one in all. We are the divine. Now, the reason that life, death, and rebirth is important for working with the Morrigan is because that's what happens when you work with them. You will go through a transformation. You will die to self. You will shed your skin like a snake, the skin of lies and who you used to be and your weaknesses. You will go into a fire, and all of that will be burned away. And we're not going to lay down in the ashes, so to speak. No, we're going to use those ashes with the tears that we have shed. There will probably be tears. I don't want to paint a picture of roses and daisies and bubbles. This is not a goddess that you want to work with if you are not there yet. And there's nothing wrong with not being there. But just make sure that you are ready, because she will take you on quite a journey. She is going to have you shed that skin, and you're going to rise from those ashes as a powerful witch, wanderer, healer, seer. She does not suffer the timid. Her favor is not given freely or easily, and it's not offered to those where they hesitate. She is the weaver of fate, who follows the warriors into battle the voice that calls to the brave to rise and condemns the coward to fall. She rewards the strong and devours the weak. This is what one author said about her. If your heart is soft and your will uncertain, maybe it's not time for you to work with her. But if you know that the darkness reveals the corrupt foundation on which some of us have built our lives, and you want that very foundation shaken to its core, so that you can really start walking in your power and your strength and your might and your sovereignty. That's a very important word. Write that down, sovereignty. If you're ready to walk in your priesthood, if you're ready to walk as the divine that lives within us, then you're ready. The banshee's cry, sound of destiny. You're going to shed that skin, like I said, and you're going to step forward to become the seeker, the healer, the witch, the queen. You are sovereign and you are mighty. And we're going to walk in all of those things. Now, when we go through this flame, the old part of us dies and it hurts. It hurts bad. We don't want to live through these things again. We don't want to look back at a situation and see our part in something where someone hurt us. But sometimes our part is allowing people to walk on us over and over again. But the difference is, see, you don't take guilt from that. No, you don't take guilt from that. What you do is you learn from it. And that is where we start to rise, when we start to learn. Here is a list of things that I want you to pay attention to. This is a list of possible signs that the Morrigan is calling to you. And you may want to work with her/them. Notice I keep saying that. To build a relationship. How do you build a relationship with a deity? The same way you would build a relationship with a friend. Find out about them. What do they like? What do they dislike? What offends them? What flatters them? What characteristics are they bringing to the table? Now, working with the Morrigan is a little bit different than working with some of the other ones. Why? Because it demands and expects fierce sovereignty from us. We will walk with our head held high unless we are bowing in reverence to them. We walk as we are commanded in power. Okay. Number 1. Now, this is there's 11 things on this list, but it could be 10 or 9 because some of these can be meshed together. Number 1, dreams and visions. Dreams and visions. Experiencing vivid dreams and visions that feel significant or otherworldly, often in themes that relate to the Morrigan's domain, battle, sovereignty, prophecy, and magic. Number 2, feelings of being watched or followed. Now, I will remind everyone that the veil is thinning since today is October 2nd. The veil is very thin. So, the veil between the living and the not is very thin. They can see you, and if you are in touch with those senses, you can see them. You can definitely sense them. Like right now, I feel less alone than I have all week here, all by my lonesome. But I'm not. I know that I'm not because I can sense it, because I've learned how to tap into those things. Feelings of being watched or followed. Number 3, encounters with crows and ravens. Now, this isn't just seeing them at the park because you're going there and you're feeding the birds. This is noticing unusual presence or behaviors of crows or ravens around you, which are considered to be messengers, by the way. Look for patterns or behaviors that seem out of the ordinary. Is the same crow slash ravens following you around store to store as you go handle your errands? Are you noticing birds in random places? I remember the first time I worked with the Morrigan. I seen birds in the oddest of places. So you have to consider mundane over magical. Right now, some of the birds, they fly south. So if you're seeing birds fly over you in in a in a flock and there's feathers all over the ground, maybe not a sign. You see feathers directly at your doorstep when you have an awning, it's probably a sign. Supernatural experiences. Experiencing events and phenomena that be explained away by cannot be explained by scientific understanding, especially if these experiences relate to themes associated with the Morrigan. A haunting sensation. Now, this is going to go back to feelings of being watched or followed. It's a little different. A haunting sensation, feeling haunted or that something is constantly lurking in the shadows or giving you an eerie sense of not being alone. Kind of like I have right now. Number one, I always light a candle if I can, and I always cleanse and protect my area. Anytime I'm learning, studying, because I'm going to block out things, I'm going to block my communication. I don't want to have that absent-minded thing that happens sometimes when you go to talk to people. You're like, I know that work. So I try to cleanse my area, especially if I'm teaching. I'm going to cleanse it and enchant it and charm it, whatever you want to call it, because this is your sacred time to learn and connect. Significant patterns or coincidences. Recognizing patterns or coincidences in your life that seem to point toward the Morrigan, especially if these are repeatedly happening in a way that defines ordinary explanations. So, like I said, are you having the same raven show up in your yard all of a sudden that wasn't there before and it's acting out in a way that's not usual? Is it coming and tapping on your window every morning? These are personal things that are going to mean something specific to you, just like the craft in itself. Yours doesn't need to look like anyone else's but yours. A pull toward her sacred sites or lures. Now, for some of us, I am in Ohio, so my life or in the moment, not just yet, I can't just hop on a plane and uh, I can't just hop on a plane and go to Ireland just yet. But what I can do is I can read books, I can go to the library, and I can give it a Google and look up sites, information, history. Don't just look at the witchcraft of history stuff when you go to uh, work with a deity, but look up the mundane history of the situation. And that will give you, number one, a better understanding of what words meant given in that time period of like, so example, the word virgin does not mean today what it meant back then. It used to mean a woman unto her own, unto herself. So that's another reason that why history is so important. You're going to not only study the witchcraft history, but you're going to study the history itself and learn about different traditions, because what better way to honor someone, to honor a deity, than to do something that was from their own time period. All right, next on the list, an increase of personal power or magic. Now, again, this is a personal thing. Noticing a surge in your own magical abilities or personal power, especially in areas that align with the Morrigan. Prophecy, magic, protection, battle, things like this. Now, the next of these can kind of go together. A call to battle or protection work and personal sovereignty issues. So, do you normally not speak up in the community setting? Do you normally not protest or stand out with a cause? These are all things that you may have a very strong draw to do now. Noticing a surge in your own magical abilities and personal power, feeling a strong urge to engage in physical or metaphorical battles, protect others, and stand up for justice and sovereignty. There's that word again. And community support, reflecting the Morrigan's qualities. As I read in the beginning, she will follow the warrior to battle. She will not drag you. She will walk behind you, knowing that when your arm gets tired from holding that shield and that sword, she will help you. She will whisper in the ears of your enemies things that that you'll see. Personal sovereignty issues facing significant life events or challenges related to personal sovereignty, rights, and standing up for yourself or others, prompting deep reflection or changes in these areas. Have you recently realized that maybe you weren't as sensitive to someone else's feelings, needs, or desires as you should have been? Maybe you were taking on a new personal event, change, job, whatever it is, and all you had was tunnel vision about what you were going through. This is standing up for other people. Maybe there's a certain group of people that you haven't been sensitive to, or you're very sensitive and you care very much, but you just haven't vocally spoke out before. And now you have this overwhelming urge to stand up for animals or human rights or, pick a protest, in other words, something that really makes you feel strongly about, but you've never voiced your opinion on it. Facing significant life issues, events, or challenges related to personal sovereignty, rights, and standing up for oneself or others. So, a call to battle or protection would be the community support. You're going to protest. Personal sovereignty issues is facing a significant life event or challenges related to your personal sovereignty, rights, and standing up for your oneself or others, prompting deep reflection or changes. Strong emotional or psychic reactions, having an intense emotional or psychic reaction that seems to be triggered by thoughts of the Morrigan, her symbols, or her stories. As we get into the lore, this is more than one part. As we get into different mythology and lores, and as we learn more about the Morrigan, we are going to see ourselves in these battles, and hopefully these battles in ourselves. Now, what do you do if you're having any one of these things? If you're having dreams and visions, well, the candle went kind of crazy there for a minute. Dreams and visions. Told you I wasn't alone. And there is no fan in this room. There is no fan in this room, and I know that I'm not alone. Okay. Dreams and visions. Feelings of being watched or followed, encounters with crows or ravens, supernatural experiences, haunting sensations, significant patterns or coincidences, a pull toward her sacred sites or lore, an increase in personal power or magic, a call to battle or protection work. And you guys know when I say work, we mean magic, spells. Personal sovereignty issues, strong emotional or psychic reactions. What do you do with all that? You're going to start keeping a journal. You're going to document. I don't care if it's a little post-it note that's the size of this. You're going to document these signs, experiences, and feelings. Over time, this record can help you discern patterns and better understand the nature of the call. Remember, the path to recognizing and understanding the Morrigan's call is deeply, deeply personal and varies from individual to individual. This checklist provides a starting point for the reflection of exploration into possible connection. So what you're going to do is you're going to write down these things that I said, and you're going to start keeping track of that. Yeah, I have always suggested to people that you keep a dream journal. It's very, very helpful. And even if you only remember things that stand out, that's usually the parts in the dream that have meaning. If you wake up and all you remember is red and stoplights and red and a bus, then write that down. You're going to notice over time when I have this dream, this happens. When I have this dream, this happens. Look up the meaning of those dreams. Do you have a sensation of being observed? Was there a particular thing that happened around that time of day? Are you having significant patterns or coincidences? Are you drawn to look up the history of the sites, different books? Are you having a surge in your personal power or magic? Are you having a call to activism or battle or protection work? Personal sovereignty, boundaries, and justice. This means that you will no longer allow people to cross your boundaries. No means no on its own. And you're saying that with both feet planted firmly on the ground and a chest full of air, that you will no longer allow people to cross your boundaries. So we've went over the checklist and what do we do now? Thank you for hanging out with us this long. Come back and join us for part 2 as we study more into the Morrigan.